If you're watching this video, chances are you've been invited to a job brief meeting with us. This video will explain how to prepare for that meeting and what we're going to be looking for so that we have the best chance of hiring the right person for your team. The first thing to know about the job brief process is that we need sufficient time to learn about the position. It's not simply enough for us to know the job title or a couple of dot points. We won't commence a role until we've completed the job brief process in full. Afterwards, we can give you a clear idea as to what the budget will be and how we'll go about it. Generally speaking, we need at least 30 minutes for the job brief and 1 hour if we've never worked with you before. If we can't find the time together, then we can possibly split it up, but ultimately we need to have the right idea about the position. In terms of preparing for the job brief process, there are a few things that if you have time, you can put together, but feel free just to turn up and talk. We can gain the information from a discussion with you. What's ideal is anybody who's going to be involved in a decision to hire should be at that job briefing. If someone is involved but they can't be available, we can talk with them at another time. Now, the reason why we need this is because what we don't want to do is hire somebody who we all think is the right person, but this other person comes in and says, well, hang on, they didn't have this part, and we're 2 months into the process. So it's critical we all get on the same page from the very start. As far as the agenda for the job brief goes, we go through a number of things. The first thing is on the company context, how the role's come about, any changes or anything in particular that we need to know about the role or what's going on in the company at the time. We'll then delve into the job responsibilities and in particular want to know about how certain processes work. This is important in determining what sort of person is going to be successful in that environment. We then go through the high value activities or HVAs for the position. These are the activities that high performers prioritize their time on. This may be a concept that is familiar to you or it may be new to you. It's a worthwhile thing to have for any position regardless of whether you're hiring for the role or just managing someone in the position. Another way to think about HVAs is what do high performers do? If we can speak with an existing high performer in the team, even better. From the HVAs, we then determine the competencies and successful behaviors. If you think about, for example, someone who has an HVA around every Thursday morning between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m, they plan their following weeks of meetings. That might be the HVA for the position. The competency and behavior, competency would be being efficient and organized, and the behavior would be someone who plans their time well ahead in advance. We identify that behavior and we use that in our assessments later on to determine if this person is going to be suitable for the role. So next we look at the essential and desirable criteria for the position. And this is really critical. In many cases, a hiring manager may start off with saying, I want 5 years experience, or they must have this certain experience. By being so hard and fast on their experience criteria, you take the pool of people and you shrink them right down. Now what we're doing is that the criteria for the person, their attitude, and behaviors is very high. We always maintain that standard. So if we're shrinking the pool down, then we're reducing the chance that we find a high performer. For example, if your minimum experience criteria is 5 years, and we have a high performer who has 4 years experience, that criteria would screen them out. So we really want to delve into what actually comprises of those 5 years. And in many cases, it's not actually required. Remember, 5 years in one company may be not as good as 1 year in another company. So using these arbitrary numbers and things that are commonly done can absolutely kill the process. And it's our job to help you to not do that. We also determine the motivational fit. What sort of person is going to love this role? What are they interested in? And that can help to determine some of the alternative talent pools. We then cover off some of the facts about the role, important things like work hours and location. These things might seem boring, but actually it can be quite a critical thing in terms of screening somebody up. For example, is there a Saturday that needs to be worked from time to time? That makes a massive difference when you've got a full-time position. Are there certain hours that need to be worked? Are there other criteria about the role, physical requirements that may or may not suit people? So really important to get these things out on the table. From there, we then talk through our target market and talent strategy. If we've completed all of the previous steps really well, hopefully we can identify an alternative talent pool that's not just the same talent pool that everybody else is fishing in. We've had some great stories of where we looked at a company and looked at how they've been hiring and completely changed how that's worked. And it's a system that they swear by. They never turn back. It's how they do things. It's in those situations where we see substantial success. The final part is we cover off any other questions or any other bits and pieces that we might need to know about the role. So as you can see, it's a reasonably thorough process, and that's what you see throughout what we do. That investment up front pays back substantially down the track. Now, once we've finished the job brief meeting, we come back with a document which explains exactly what we've heard, exactly what we know, and what we're going for. That gives you an opportunity to review it and say yes, no, change this, that sort of thing. Our process is highly collaborative. It's our goal that we're always on the same page, and that gives us the best chance to hire that high performer for you. I hope you found this job brief video useful. We look forward to discussing the position with you very shortly.